this. For isometric drawings, basically what they're doing is they are taking kind of like a corner view of something, making it look three-dimensional even though you have it on two-dimensional paper, right? So it's a flat drawing, but you're making it look three-dimensional. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to try on your dot paper to draw that figure. So 3 boxes. Before I even tell you anything about it, I just want to see if you can figure out how that goes. Yeah. You've what? Nice. I love it. I love drawing on isometric dot paper. Unfortunately, today's the only day we do it for the whole year. So if you hate it, you don't have to do it for long. One hint about drawing this stuff that I will give you is you will never draw a horizontal line. You'll draw vertical lines. You will never draw a perfectly horizontal line. So keep that in mind. If you get a line going like this, it's wrong, okay? How do we do? Think you got it? Shrink it back down. There's lots of ways you can go about doing this. The book says start at the front of the figure and move your way back, but I don't ever tell people that until you try it yourself because I don't do it that way. I feel like there's other ways that are easier, but it's totally up to you how you want to go about it, whatever makes sense to you. A lot of times I work from the top down, but like I said, the book would say start at the front. So the book would say, this is your front of your figure, okay, those 3 pieces. So if you start at the front, I would start here, and it's going to be kind of a slanted rectangle, a parallelogram, if you will, right? And then work your way back. So I would do these 3 lines next, 1, 2, 3. And then finish that off to make your cube. So here and here. Okay, so that's 1 box. Notice no horizontal lines. I always say you kind of start with a baseball diamond. This right here, right? You have that diamond. That's how I like to start. I like to start from the top and go down with it. But like I said, totally up to you. Okay, so if I have that first one drawn in, I would probably from there work my way up. So I would probably do these 2 vertical lines next, because that's going to come off of here and here. And then I would do this top one, and then make my baseball diamond. So that's the top here. And then the only one that's left there would finish off that box. So here and here. Okay, and then you have 1 more to draw. Let's do black. So for this one, this line here is the start to your baseball diamond. So I would do the diamond, and then I would go vertically down from there, and then finish it off. Okay. The rule with isometric drawings is you only draw lines in if you turn a corner. So if you look at these, for instance, okay, these are isometric drawings that we're going to use to do what we call an orthographic drawing. But notice these lines here aren't drawn in because that's a flat surface. So if it changes a direction, you draw the line in. If it's on a flat surface, don't draw the line in. Okay, so this is 3 blocks tall, but we don't draw 3 separate blocks. Does that make sense? All right. Any questions on the isometric drawing? Okay, I would say play around with it a little bit. You'll do a few of those in the homework, but if you want to just draw and try and get a good feel for how it works, you are welcome to do that. I'm not going to spend much more time on it because we just don't spend a ton of time doing isometric. We spend more time doing the orthographic drawings, which is what we're going to do right now. So orthographic drawings, let me get my pen back here, are basically taking an isometric drawing and then drawing the 3 different views you can see. So if you look at this picture, this guy here, there's 3 different perspectives. You have looking at it from here, that's your front perspective. If you look from over here, that would be the right side. Sorry, this is messy. Or you could look down on it and that would be your top side. So when it says it shows 3 separate views, those are the 3. You see the front, you see the right, and you see the top. And I don't care what order you draw them for me in, just make sure that you have all 3 for an orthographic, okay? So if I'm gonna draw an orthographic setup here, I'm gonna get this out of here so we have more room. I typically start with the top view. Again, I don't care what order you go in, but you'll have a top view, you'll have a front view, and you'll have a right view. Okay. Orthographics you won't do on the dot paper because it's not going to work. Orthographics, you're going to use horizontal and vertical lines. So ditch the dot paper. If you want to draw this with me, just draw it on regular paper. Or if you want to just watch, you can just watch. Or you can do it on the PDF in Canvas for that matter. Okay, so the top view. When you look down on this picture, you want to draw it as if you're looking down coming from the front. So think of yourself as this is a building, okay? And we are in a helicopter, and we are going to fly over top of this building. You want to come at the building from the front and then stop right on top and look down, okay? So coming from the front and looking down, the first thing I would see for my top view would be a square. Right? It's kind of like taking this and just flattening it and saying, what is that 2-dimensional picture going to look like? So I would see a square right here. And then if I kept looking, I would also see this setup here. How many squares makes up that second set of shading that I just did? 3, right? But we're going to draw it as one shape because it didn't change depth at all. So we're going to draw kind of an L there, which is the size of 3 blocks. So it's going to go 2 blocks back, and then it's going to cut 1 block over. If any of you play Tetris, it's a Tetris piece with just that extra line drawn in. So this would be your top view of that figure. Any questions on that? Okay, then we're going to do the front view. And your front view, basically what it is, you're looking from the front, but think of it again now, you're going to flatten it out. So if I were looking from the front, I don't want to see any depth. Flatten it out, what would it look like? So coming from the front, how many squares would you see? How many? 4. You would see 4, yeah. So you would see this here, which is 3, right? The lines aren't drawn in, but there are 3 blocks tall there. So you're going to draw 3 blocks tall, but don't draw the lines in to separate them. And then there's one more. Do you see the one? This one right here. And here's where I feel like it gets a little bit difficult for some people is just the perspective of it. If we were to flatten it out, it is directly next to on the right of our 3. Okay, so you're going to put that 1 block right here, and that would be what you see from the front. Notice the only line that got drawn in as a separator is this one here because it changed depth, right? The one was further out front, the one was further back on the front view. So you draw that line in. Okay, so that's the front view. Any questions on the front? Okay, then the right perspective, and I feel like green doesn't show up very well. We're going to switch to purple here. From the right, how many squares do you see? How many? You see 5, right? You have these three vertically. You have this one, and then this one's kind of tricky because you can't see the whole square, but it's there. It's just kind of hidden by the one in front of it. So you would see 5. You would have 3 tall, so the same as you started your last one. And then the next 2, you're going to put right next to each other. Am I going to draw the line in to separate them into 2? I am, right? Because it did change depth. It moved further back. And as you can see, my drawings are not perfect. I don't expect yours to be perfect, but I do want to see, like, that is definitely 1 square, not 2, right? So if it's a little big or a little small, that's okay. Do your best. I am not an artist. I don't expect you to be an artist, but give it your best shot with that. Any questions on top, front, right? Okay, so when you do a top perspective, where are you coming from, the front or the right? When we draw this one, you want to come in from the front and look down, okay? All right, here's what we're going to do. On your iPad, on a piece of scratch paper, on your notes, whatever, I'm going to have you try this one without me, and then I'm going to do it for you just so you can verify your answers, but I want to give you a chance to take a shot at it. And I'm not going to give you a ton of time right now because we're going to run out of time. Maybe... Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to run out of time if I don't start drawing it soon. So draw it on your own. Just don't watch what I'm drawing right now because I want to see if you can get it. But I'm going to draw the 3 views and then you can check yours. Okay? So you need a top, a front, and a right. How are you doing? I think the bell's going to ring in like 30 seconds. So take a look at these. Joseph asked a good question. Is this the same as this? If you did it like that, I don't think I'll take off for that this year. I usually take a half a point off, but I feel like it's there, right? It's the same thing. You're just looking from a different perspective. But that is isometric and orthographic. Give those a shot tonight. And let me know if you have any questions.